How do you like to learn?
If it's just like in a class, I like PowerPoints, and if they're printed off and we can annotate around them, that's always useful, because then you've got all the teacher's notes and you can make your own notes as well.
You can only do this in some lessons like English. I mean, it wouldn't work in maths, but sort of a group discussion as a class, because if it's like a debate, if you want to call it that. If you're having an argument, I find that the best way to learn is if you're arguing with other people if you're in the class, because it's something you believe in. So the information actually sinks in a lot better, and it's a lot of fun as well, instead of just copying down from textbooks and notebooks.
I like making notes because then it's easy to do revision, you've got stuff to look back on, but it also helps to do stuff like group work and maybe watching videos, because if you're just working all the time it's kind of a bit hard and a bit boring, you're likely to lose attention.
I like watching films and everything, so if the teacher has a film and they can play it, because I remember things, but then if I've seen them, if I'm just reading something, then I'd easily forget it. But if it was in a film or a program, then I'd remember it.
I prefer kind of kinesthetic learning. I kind of like field trips and stuff where we can actually gather information ourselves and find out what we're learning about and things like that.
I kind of like I said, being shown it's rubbish, but I kind of think if you are shown how to do something, or look, you have to do this, do that, and then go through, you have it like a step-by-step thing how to do something, it's easier to understand it. But then if you're doing other subjects, because I do maths like that, but then because I do psychology, you kind of have the group element with it as well. So you think about this, read this, and then talk about it, and so it's both sides of it. Group, I like doing group work because it kind of gets you involved and it makes you think about it more, and then they have more ideas that you can use, and you can put it all together, and step-by-step guides of how to do things. So if you don't understand one step, you'll be well, how do I do that, or something. So it's kind of the both sides of the spectrum.
Personally, the best way for me to learn is visually, as in copying out notes, which is a bit boring for everyone else, but that's how I learn personally. If you're talking about making it a bit more fun, if you've got time to, then doing presentations is always good. Acting it out, making it all a bit more interesting. For example, in history, maybe hot seating, having to pretend to be a certain historical figure, and saying what you think they would have said. You're kind of putting your own spin on it.
I like to do things. I like any activities where I can do hands-on jobs. It makes it stick in my mind a lot easier. However, it's not as if I don't like visual or listening. It's not auditive. It's not as if I don't like that, but I prefer to be able to do things. It makes me remember it, because I can remember actions I carried out and certain things I had to do while doing the activity, and it makes it easier to bring it up in my mind. Also, I find it easy to have revision lessons on certain topics for end of topic tests and SATs and GCSEs. I find it easier to revise certain things and colour code things.
I like active learning, getting up and doing something. It's because when you're involved with something, you feel more like you're gonna learn it, rather than sitting there and just writing or whatever. You're not taking it in. Whereas when you're enjoying yourself and actually doing active work, it makes it much more fun. You take it in a lot more. Even German, I do at school, and instead of to keep us remembering everything else, we do it actively instead of just sitting there learning it. We find a lot more to even doing games where you're running around finding the words to put them into a sentence. It works a lot better than just writing the sentence out.
Well, I prefer an interactive lesson, really, going up to the board. So if you know something, going up to the board, trying to help other people to achieve what you've achieved, to understand it, and just to just to help off your peers and stuff, just to have an interactive lesson so you're not bored any of the time and you're always learning and stuff like that. So yeah.